Danny.
Season 2 of Living Single with Dan and Danny. As always, I'm Danny. To my right is Dan.
Yeah.
Starting off season 2 a little bit different. We got video this time. Shout out to the YouTube viewers.
First of all, you can't be saying stuff until we're sure, because this might not work. So if y'all don't see a video, know that he jinxed it, man. Heavens to
It's gonna work, bro. It's
Goodness
gonna work.
gracious.
It's gonna work.
Just let him be a surprise. Out of all the new stuff we got, that's what you wanna. Go ahead, man.
What else? Talk about the other new stuff that we got.
I feel like essentially the first season. Essentially, look at me. Big words. That's another thing we're doing.
SAT words.
But essentially the first season was about living single and relationships, how we go about them, what we think about them, how we act while we're in them, how we act while we're not in them.
Right.
And I think more so than anything this season we just want to focus on like living black men in America, like, or just people
living
in America in general, man. And
while being single.
yeah, but shoot, let's talk about single.
Are you still single?
First of all, you already know what you know now. But nah, because the homie tried to call me out, and I'm like, bro, first of all, single is a mind state, bro.
Mindset?
That is the state of having
State
a
of
mind. Yeah, See? But nah, for real though, like it's just how you live. It's just making sure you're true to you. I think that's more so than anything, because when you get in a relationship, you can lose sight of yourself.
Right.
So whether you're in a relationship or not, you still, and take this with lack of a better phrase, like have that single mindset of like, hey, I still need to better myself before I can better anybody else. I think that's something that we should focus on as humans, and then just moving forward with that through this podcast, like how does having that mindset help us navigate through life?
Yeah. Being single, I think, is probably the most important time of your life too, because you're not obligated to anybody. You don't have.
I feel like it depends on when you're being single. Like that changes everything. Like being single in high school is different from being single in college. Being single in college is different from being single as an adult, and then that changes from.
Well, the 20s. I think maybe your 20s. Or any time, I think, before you have a child or before you have a wife or a husband, is going to be the most important time in your life, because it's the most selfish time. Like, you really are worried about only personal development, trying to get somewhere in your career, maybe trying to make a dream happen. Like, so you don't have to, you can move to another city, state if you want to, and start brand new. You can do that when you have a family.
I think, you can. It's just harder. You can do anything that you can do without a family with one. But I think the realest people in the world are the you curious what I'm about to say, ain't you? Now the realest people in the world are the ones that are single in their mid-20s. They the realest. Like the ones that got in a relationship before their mid-20s, I feel like they're lucky and they're blessed, they got something good. But I feel like if you're not in a relationship by your mid-20s, you probably, knock on wood, or couch, you probably struck until you about 30. And the only reason why I say that is because by the time you're mid-20s, you probably done dated here and there, and you're to the point where you're focusing on you, you're learning yourself to your point of being single, growing and stuff, you're learning yourself. So then, if I'm learning myself and I meet another person that's learning themselves, essentially, how we gonna, timing is everything, how we gonna learn together? Like, there's gonna be growing pains. Right. And sometimes you can get through those growing pains, but oftentimes not, you can't. And again, timing is everything. So I feel like that mid-20 mark, man, it's like, yo, shoot, I guess I do gotta handle this by myself. But I feel like for me personally, having it a long time in that age range, has helped me grow mentally and professionally, right. All that.
Okay.
Don't want to be lonely though. Don't get that twisted. Nah, but
I mean, we can touch on that. Before we touch on that, I want to talk about the other component of season 2 that'll be different. Besides us having more guests, we'll have more guests, more female and male guests. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to our Facebook page at Living Single Pod, Instagram page at Living Single Pod, Twitter page at Living Single Pod, or reach out to Dan and Danny directly on Instagram. And just let us know, if you want to be a guest. Tell us, topics that you want to discuss, and if it's a good fit, we'll bring you on. If not, we appreciate the support.
Nah, I think one, I just want to point out I created the Twitter and Instagram, so I wanted to say it, but now we're on all social media at livingsinglepod, POD. Excuse me. What Danny was saying, if it's not a good fit, like we could talk through something and figure it out. We're gonna have a couple of guests, and this show may seem like more of a talk show. Like we're gonna have guests up here, not gonna know what they're looking to talk about. They're gonna get up here and say something wild. And we gonna try to reel them in. Like we're trying to. We feel like me and him both feel like we got all the answers, but both our answers are two totally different answers. So we gonna figure it out, and we gonna bring some people along for the ride, man. And y'all gonna hear some stuff y'all ain't gonna agree with, but that's when you hit us up. Y'all call in, y'all leave a comment on Facebook or retweet us on Twitter and let us know like what's up. Like y'all was bugging, or that guess was right, or that guess was wrong. You need to tell them this next time. Like, let us know, man. And don't be shy, man, because we can't do this by ourselves, man. We appreciate all of y'all.
And then the last component is, we kind of teased it in the season finale, but it's going to be an Ask Dan and Danny segment. So, listeners, supporters, you can reach out to us on social media or directly. And if you want advice on a relationship that you're in, if you're
don't ask me, man. So are you with the as single people for relationship advice, or as non-parents for parenting advice, or asking somebody who's not married marriage?
Yes.
What do you got to offer?
Experience.
But you don't have that experience.
I've experienced a lot of things.
But have you experienced a marriage?
I feel like I've experienced the commitment of a marriage.
Have you experienced a child?
No, I haven't. I'm not trying to give advice on children, though.
But I just asked that. But no, so my point is like giving advice on something they ain't been through. I feel like you can.
But I don't give relationship advice because I've been in a relationship.
You think they're successful? I mean, I know they didn't work because you're single now, but do you think you were in them successfully?
I'm giving advice based on what I've experienced and then what I've learned from it. So I can't give you advice on something that I haven't experienced or gone through. So if it's maybe something I don't know about, I just tell you, look, I've never gone through this, but if I was in your shoes or if I was in the man's shoes, this is probably how he's thinking. That's just something, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't be feeling like this be breaking guy code, but I got a lot of lady friends that be coming to me telling me about their guys. I'm like, look, this is what this dude talking about. Like, he really don't care he doing that.
Exactly.
But that's because they're my friends I'm looking out for. But that, again, that's based on how I'm thinking if I was that guy. Like, what would make me do that?
Right.
I have another girl on the side. That's what makes me do that.
That's what women want to know, though.
Yes, but I don't know if it's just me. I always give disclaimers, though, like, that's just me. He could be thinking completely different. Because while you might pay for a girl to go out for dinner, it's a different reason why I might pay for a girl to go out to dinner. Like, you might be paying just to smash, and I'm just paying because I really like her.
I'm not paying to smash.
Yeah, you know, hypothetically. Is that a word, hypothetically? Hypothetically. Yeah. All right, we good. SAT word number 2.
But on to that, Ask Dan and Danny, I actually had somebody reach out to me during our hiatus that is going through some things, that happens to be married, and I wanted to talk to you about it.
You ain't never brought up. You just want blindside me like this?
Exactly.
I feel betrayed.
The real gonna relate, man. So, pretty much, they've been married for 2 years. They have a child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Perfect. Black.
What's perfect?
Like, if from the outside looking in, to me, they look like they're perfect for each other. But then the person expressed, like, they're newly married, so 2 years now, and they're not having sex anymore. And when they do have sex, it's, it's on to her terms. Like, the dude doesn't really have a lot of, say in it or freedom. But pretty much, like, they have sex every couple months, something like that.
And it's like, okay, we can have sex, but this is what we gonna do.
Yeah, like, it's never spontaneous. It's always, like, planned sex. And it's like, he's at a breaking point where he's like, yo, either I'm fixing this or I'm out. So I wanted to come to you and ask you, if you was in that situation, if you newly married and you find out 2 years into the marriage you and your wife not sexually compatible, what do you do?
Can I ask some more background questions? Do you know how long they were together and knew each other prior to marriage?
2 years.
2 years, they knew each other. Now they've been married 2 years, so like a total of 4.
Yeah. Well, they was in a relationship for 2 years.
That's solid. You can't be mad at that.
And they're young, 25, 26.
So is it they're not sexually compatible, or they just are on 2 different pages just about sex and their relationship in general? Because that's 2 different things. Yeah. Because for me, if they could be having all the sex in the world and be sexually incompatible,
Right.
So that's not on the base. Like you don't have, like just because you're not compatible, that's not based off you not having sex.
But like me personally, I think because sex is important to me in a
We
relationship.
know, Danny. We know.
It's important to me, but like if I'm married and me and my wife aren't connected on that way, it's just like as a man, you only have one or two options. You know what I'm saying? Either you're gonna.
I feel like you only have one option.
Either you're gonna leave and cheat.
Oh, whoa! Cheating is an option.
Cheating is an option.
Oh, that's wild.
To stay with the person because maybe they just don't fulfill that one part of you, or it's a divorce.
Why does it have to be cheating? Why? No, I'm not gonna be petty. Again, it's sex is important. You know, you want to have that bond, that connection, and I think more so like the bigger picture. I have to know why she's not having sex as often or why it's always on her terms. I would have to know that to, you know, further comment. But what I will say, look at me further commenting anyway. What I will say is that whether it's the guy doing for the girl or the girl doing for God, not just sex with everything. When you're married or in a relationship, you're supposed to want to fulfill their, you know, needs and wants best as you can, and not just on some, you know, because I don't want them fighting anywhere. It's because you love them or care about them so that you want them happy. And so that's the bigger issue. She's not, and I don't know if they talk, but if they talk, it's like, okay, she's not listening, and if they haven't talked, maybe that's the talk they need to have. But like as a significant other, you need to like listen to the wants and needs of, you know, your partner.
Facts. If it was me, I would probably definitely say, you know, bring it up as soon as possible. You can't let it linger because you could go out one night, get too drunk, and end up making a decision that you'll regret. So I think bring it up to, you know, your wife as soon as possible, and be as open and honest as possible, and let her know exactly how you feeling. So if you're saying like, yo, it's to the breaking point where I want to leave outside the marriage, be honest and let her know that, because it's gonna be real. And then from there, try to get some professional help, maybe a pastor or a therapist, and then just kind of figure out what the root cause of it is, and then give it some time, 6 months. If things don't change, then maybe you got to make a decision and part ways if it's that important. But to me, I think that's what I would do because it's important to me. So it's either like we're gonna fix it or I'm gone, in my opinion.
Yeah, and just to your point, again, for me, it's not that she's not having sex. Again, I don't know the situation, but assuming that like they do have the talk or they have had the talk, or even if they haven't, it's like, okay, so now I'm in a marriage where we can't communicate, or now I'm in a marriage where I try to communicate and she's not listening. Like, well, that's like, what about if it's something else? Like, hey, I'm really, and man, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be quote unquote vulnerable. I say vulnerable. I'm not even gonna say weak. It's okay to be vulnerable. Say, hey, I have a really stressed out day at work. Wife, I can't. I know I normally fold laundry for you, but I'm not able to get it to you. And she shouldn't be chastising you for that. She should be understanding. Not saying she got to turn around, break her back to do laundry. I'm sure she got 1,000 things to do, but just understand why it's not done. So again, it's just communicating and having that open line so things can be addressed before they get worse than they need to be.
Yeah. So listener, man, talk to your wife. Be direct with her. Be open with her. And then try to get some professional.
Nah, F all that. Have her listen to this, man. Don't talk to her. Just say, hey, listen to the Living Single podcast with Danny.
That's another way you can do it.
And then she's going to be like, this sounds so familiar.
Right,
and then y'all can talk. But yeah, we want our views. So listen first.
You could definitely do that. But earlier you was talking about timing, man. So I want to deep dive a little bit more into that and kind of speak about where you are now in life, like how you're thinking, and how you're reflecting on just timing. You know, you about to be, but you just turned 26, right?
Bro, you don't tell too much of my info, man.
You just turned 26. So that's for me, I'm about to be 27, so it's like you start to be real reflectory after 25.
How you feel about being 27, man? You feel good?
I feel good, man.
You know you about to be 30, right?
I am, man. Like, I feel good just because I have a clear vision for...
Do you have any goals by 30?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about facial hair. I'm literally like...
Listen, man. Big Beard Danny coming in January 1st, 2019. Be there. When the ball drop, I will have a full beard.
He is lying. Lying. Liar!
But yeah, man. Being 27, I think I'm just a lot more. I've learned from all my fuck ups, like financially, career wise, and stuff like that. So now I think I have a clear vision for what I want the next part of my life, my midlife, to look like. Career wise, I know what I want to do, and I could, see that and have a plan for it. So I think it forces you to, when you get older, to kind of start to reflect on your life, your friends, your mindset, your personality, and you start to assess really your strengths and weaknesses. And then from there, if you're a big thinker or you have dreams, the time kind of starts ticking, like, oh, I gotta make this shit happen.
See, I want to ask you, what do you think is the biggest lesson you learned? Because you said you learned a lot of things about professionally and all that, and then you was like, the time starts clicking, you got to make some moves, but that's my point of timing. Like, do you? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yes you do, but what's the sense of urgency? You can have urgency, but for me, I don't want to put that pressure on myself. Like, this has to happen by January 8th. 2020, like, no, I'm gonna make strides, and the goal is for it to happen during April. It's not. God has a better plan.
Right. That's the way you should look at it.
So that's just what I want to say, like, to all the people out there, young, old, like, just try not to pressure yourself with those time restraints, because whatever you put on yourself, like, there's something much more bigger, and like, you can't. Your little bit of body and your energy, you can't, dictate that. Just do what you can and let things happen in life naturally. But
for me, to touch on that point, then I answer the other question. Like, I've been trying to, in my meditation, just focus more on just being grateful for what I have, being grateful for the moment, the time that I'm in, the day, and not trying to focus on where I need to be so much, because you can get like frustrated, you can get stressed out. Like, sometimes I'll just be sitting playing 2K for an hour, and I'm like, damn, I could have used that hour and did XYZ. And shit, now I'm mad at myself. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me thinking about, oh, I need this because I'm trying to do this by 30. Or, oh, I need this because I'm trying to have this money by then. When really, I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? I'm still experiencing life. That's something to be thankful for.
I used to do the same thing. Like, I mean, granted, days we playing 3 hours on 2K, like, yo, that gotta chill. And I chill, but sometimes where I'm like, man, I'm playing for an hour. I was supposed to be cleaning the kitchen. I was supposed to be cooking and stuff like that. I've accepted, or I've told myself it's fine to let that slip, quote unquote, slip that happen once a week, simply because I go so hard, like, all the time. Exactly. It's like, you're doing good. Like, I tell myself, like, you're doing good. It's fine. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing, but at the same time, like, you gotta take a breather, bro. Like, don't kill yourself trying to be perfect and make sure your kitchen's always clean, dinner's always cooked. Nah, like, be human. I think that's the important thing I've been learning. Like, to be human. It's okay, like, if people think I'm this way, to show them that I'm not, good or bad. Like, because at the end of the day, that's me. And, for the bad parts about it, grow and improve, so the next time they encounter you, you're different, and hopefully you rub off on them in the bright light.
I think I heard one speech. I think it was by Inky Johnson. Shout out to Inky. And he was, you should look him up. Beautiful, beautiful motivational speaker. But he pretty much said that you should be more focused on the destination than how you get there. So have your mind focused on, okay, I want to own my own business, and I want to own this type of business. But don't be concerned with how you get there, because as long as you reach that goal, whether it's at 30, 40, 50, you're going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I think, who said this? Tracy Morgan said the definition of happiness is having something to look forward to. So, like, when you have kids, you look forward to them growing up. When you have a job, you look forward to that next promotion. And that's things that make you happy. So as long as you always have something to strive towards, just be focused on that and don't worry about how you get there at the end of the day.
And the one caveat I want to say with that is, like, focus on destination, but don't be lackadaisical, like, yo.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm focused on getting my own business, so I'm just gonna keep my feet up on my couch. It'll happen one day.
Not really.
Still, like, pursue it, but don't. Still pursue it, but, like, don't, clog your mind up with the particulars. Cause at the end of the day, you only can do so much. Like, what's meant to be will be.
What's the verse? Faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's exactly the same way you could look at it.
And I like that. And I like that Tracy one. That you said, having something to look forward to. That's in all aspects. Was work. Sure. I'm looking for a job that's fulfilling. Like I can be happy when I go to, like, I'm super comfortable at my I'm super comfortable at my job. Like I like it, but at the end of the day, like when my tasks, when I complete them, it's like, yo, I'm proud of myself because I had a math problem and I figured it out.
Right.
But that's all I did. That's all I did. Anybody, well, I'm not gonna say anybody can do that, but like I know, I believe in myself, I'm confident, I know I'm intelligent enough to figure out anything if I put my mind to it.
Exactly.
But I want to figure out stuff that makes me happy, make me feel warm inside, not stuff that like, oh, I can poke my chest out because I did this. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I don't.
We
so
touch on that. But
yeah. So what you said, having happiness is having something to look forward to. For sure, relationships wise, you don't ever want to be in a relationship. You don't look forward to seeing that person or talking to that person.
Trust me, that's miserable.
And shoot, even to that point, I feel like you never want to be so dependent on somebody that like every day you have to look forward to them. Like, and another thing about this age, like at this age, don't be scared to have me time within a relationship. Like if you're going to be spending, if you're in a relationship and you're looking to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you have all that time to do that.
Yeah.
So enjoy some time to yourself.
And that's a turn off too, when like if a female can't understand like my mind and what I'm focused on, and that's just how I operate. Like, yo, I need a certain amount of time for me just to be a good person to you.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking about compromise and understanding, communicate to them, but like I wouldn't force it like, oh, I gotta have every Tuesday to myself or nothing like that.
Oh yeah.
But because at the same time where you need me time, she may not need me time.
Yeah.
So y'all gotta
never need me
so
time.
you gotta find that balance. Y'all gotta both find that balance. She gotta be like, okay, I'm gonna let him go to sleep without talking his ear off tonight, and you gotta be like, all right, I'm gonna stay a little bit later and let her talk my ear off tonight. Like you just gotta find that balance. Otherwise, that relationship is not gonna work.
But back to your question about what's the most important lesson? Yeah. I think the most important lesson I've learned in my 20s so far.
In the last year, I just want the last year.
Last year, this year?
Yeah. Like you about to turn 27. You looking back on the past 365. What are you gonna say?
Dang, that's a good question. This year,
I know.
I think the most important lesson I've learned is don't talk, don't try, just do. So this year I've made a conscious effort to not only talk about my dreams and my visions of where I want myself to be out loud and to myself, but I've made the conscious decision to no longer say that I'm trying to do certain things. So if I'm trying to make a change in my life, let's say I want to stop drinking. I'm no longer saying, oh, I'm trying to stop drinking. I'm just saying I'm not drinking anymore. So
it manifests itself.
Yeah, so it manifests. And then I try to just do things. So instead of, like, let's say, like business ideas that I've had, I've made conscious efforts to no longer talk about them, but write them down, and then make the conscious effort to take steps toward achieving those goals. So with this building an app, I'm in an app course now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually doing what I said I want to do. You know what I'm saying? My nonprofit, I'm reading the things that I need to do so I can get the aptitude I need to file out the paperwork and everything like that. So I think not trying or not just talking, but actually putting action forth has been the biggest step I took this year.
And I think a transition in becoming an adult is like breaking away from that childish routine, for lack of a better word. Like, with school, you go to class, you come home, you may do some work, and then you chill, you goof around. You may be productive here and there, but you just do it constantly over and over and over.
Right.
As an adult, it adjusts and it changes. Like, again, like I don't play 2K that much because I realize I want to do this. I want to look for other jobs, or I want to figure out what I'm more comfortable with, or I want me time. I want to write in my journal. Like, so it's okay not to do the routines or do the things that your friends do every day. Right, you can link with them and do things here and there, but I think it's important that we don't be so focused on doing things with, our friends and stuff so much. Like, let it happen organically.
Distractions.
Yeah, because essentially that's what they are. Like, because you don't know somebody else's free time in life. Like, so I for all the listeners, I use Danny and myself, like, he goes to work early. Well, we probably get to work close to the same time, but he gets off work earlier than me.
Yeah.
So by the time he's done with all his cooking and cleaning and stuff, I'm just getting home. So he hit me up, 2K? I'm like, bro, like, no. Like, I'm not. And that's no shade to him, but that's just, like, knowing, like, and at first what it used to be is like, well, shoot, let me get on, because this one everybody else can get on.
Right.
But everybody else got a different schedule. You got to do what's conducive to you, because ultimately it will hurt you if you don't. So I think that's important.
What's your biggest lesson?
My biggest lesson was learning to express yourself. Just
okay.
And express yourself.
That's a mature man thing to do.
Hey.
Talk about, so you express yourself to
in every way. Express yourself to God, express yourself to your friends, express yourself to your significant others. Right. Express yourself to
others. Multiple.
To your significant others. Yes, sister can be significant, right? Brother can be significant, right? Like, do you know what the definition of significant means? Like, I don't know why you looking at me like that. Like, wow. Anyway, like, can I finish my list? That was the best. So, and the last one is expressing yourself to yourself. I think that was
like that.
So, so the two for me, the two that all of those are like just so important.
Right.
For me, expressing myself to God and Jesus, just like, He's in your life. He created everything, and He can do anything. So just talk to Him for one. To express myself to others, whether it's friends, family, a young lady, whatever the case may be. I notice people, I'm just talking from my perspective. A lot of people do express themselves, but I'm the type that I used to not do that. Because I was afraid what people thought, or
right.
I'm like, man, if I do this, just afraid what people thought. But I'm like, shoot, everybody else doing it, let me do it. Right. And it's really liberating. And sometimes you're gonna hurt some people's feelings, but ultimately you got to do what's right for you. Not saying be mean and nasty about it. Find the right way to articulate it, but express yourself for better or worse, because you gotta get that out. You don't want to harbor that in, because
what made you want to do that? Like, start doing that.
Or
what led to
freeing? It's freeing.
So what led to you, like, getting that? Like, what clicked in your head? Like, damn, I should probably stop.
People negatively expressing themselves to me. I think that's what did it. I'm like, I'm getting so much shade, or I do so many nice things, or say so many nice things with people, and I just get this, when they express themselves as negative or whatever the case may be, I'm like, well, dang, like, this is what we do. Y'all really don't care. Y'all trolling or whatever the case. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care, so y'all good? Bet. So I'm not going to turn, because that's not who I am, so I'm not going to turn around and do that. But, like, I am going to say how I feel about the situation, or a way of expression is silence sometimes, too. I'm not going to react to it.
Right.
So that's what made me do it. Is just, like, I thought I was being open and honest with some people, but then they just turned it around for one thing or another. So I'm like, well, Dad, maybe I'm not being as open and honest as I can. Because maybe if I was, and being real with myself too, like those situations. Yeah, huh?
Sound like you were hurting some people.
Some people was hurting me. What you mean? But that goes to the last point. Express yourself to yourself. Being real, and especially as men, I feel like we don't really have people that we can talk with. Other men, I'm thankful and blessed that I have like a brother, a cousin that's like a brother to me I can talk to. But even him, like, it's certain things I don't want to say, so I got me a journal. And I write in it. Like, nobody's seeing anything. And two things.
That's one thing I need to start.
Bro, it's the coolest thing, because for me, for two reasons, my memory isn't the best. So 3 years from now, I can look back, and I dated too.
Damn.
I can be like,
I'm about to get a journal.
Man, you got to, because then you looking back, you was like, shoot, whatever this day is, November, whatever this day is, like, damn, we was really doing the podcast. Well, we still doing it now. Like, damn, we was getting into the podcast. We started the second season on this day, and it's dope. So one is cool to reflect that, and then two is like, shoot,
where'd you get
my journal?
Yeah.
Walmart. It's just a little book. It's like kind of like $1 or $2, and just get a book. And then too, I'm like, man, maybe one day I can tell some cool stories to my kids. I can tell some cool stories to what was happening in my life before I met my wife, or maybe I just want to publish a book. Like, you never know. So, but I will have all that content.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna be honest. I probably write in it maybe twice a month. And one thing, first I found I was just using it for like when bad things happen, just to vent the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, shoot, I don't want to only use this for quote unquote negative things. Let me
Right.
talk about lessons I learned. So when I found out what I want to do, I want a new career, when I found out what that was, I dropped that down. So for one, so I could see it and visualize it. But two, again, documentation and like, all right, this is what you want to do. Remember this. And then so I started using it for stuff like that. And you know, then it branched off the good stuff. Today was the first time I did this. Dope. So like each time I take up a
I'm trying to
page.
get a journal, man.
You a copycat, but you should do it. I advise everybody listening, you know, find a way to express yourself, whether it's a journal, whether it's a therapist. The only reason I would say a friend, you can have friends too, but well, I'm gonna just speak for me. You gotta find someone you can completely be honest, like brutally honest. Like, I don't know if you could tell a homie or a homegirl, oh, I really want to cry. You can reach into that journal or a therapist where and say, I want to cry. Like, you can be really honest about yourself. Like, I don't mean that this might be sad. Like, I hope nobody's up here suffering with depression. But like, if you want me to say like, yo, I was depressed, like, you might can't tell a friend that, but you can express it in that book. So I feel like that's what helped me, just letting it out. So normally I write in that, and then I pray over what I wrote, and then I go from there.
That's what's up,
So,
man.
you know, a little something. That's what I learned. Express yourself.
Well, we just up on 33 minutes, man. It's been pretty good, man.
And let the record know we have no topic. Welcome to season 2. Hey.
Yeah, man. It's a lot more free flowing. We'll take questions. Obviously, have guests. We'll still have topics too, and talk about relationships. But this was just first episode of the season.
Bro, stop saying what it is. Like, we can literally record 5 more episodes on the side. This isn't the first episode. Like, y'all don't hold him.
This is the first episode.
No, but I don't care. It might not be the first episode. So, look, we may or may not have video. This may or may not be the first episode.
Oh, we better have video.
Stay tuned.
Hey, we still got video, man.
Right, what about me delete? So don't say.
Hey.
See?
Hey.
So stop talking and exit out the jump, man.
No, that's perfect, man. That's a